guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Susie and this is I Run Things, and in today's video we are going to compare 4 marathons. This is a highly requested video. Let's do this. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Susie and this is I Run Things, and like I said in the intro, today we are going to compare 4 marathons. These are the 4 marathons we're going to talk about today. Walt Disney World Marathon, New York City Marathon, Philadelphia Marathon, and Marine Corps Marathon. So a couple weeks ago, I asked on my community tab here on my YouTube channel about the most important things for you guys, my subscribers, my viewers, to consider running a marathon. I gave 5 options, mainly because those are the only 5 options that I can give on a survey on YouTube. So that's what I did. I chose 5 options and you guys came to the rescue and answered those questions. So the 5 most important things for you are from least important to most important. The number 1 least important thing is the volunteers as well as the amount of water stops. The second least important thing is the loose cutoff time for the course, for the race itself. The third least important thing is the incline, the elevation, the difficulty in general of the course. The fourth least important thing is logistics, how easy it is to get to the start and the finish line. And then the 5th least important or most important thing is the iconic sites on the course. So for most of you, actually almost 40% of the respondents said that the iconic sites were the most important thing when choosing a marathon. So those are the 5 key things we're going to analyze on these 4 marathons, and we're going to start right now. Okay, so we're going to start at the bottom with the volunteers and the amount of water stops. So for me, out of these 4, the one that I thought, and this is actually not a popular opinion, I actually posted this on a message board on Facebook and I was almost kicked out of the message board. But this is what I think. You might think otherwise if you've run this race, and if you talk to other people, they might think differently. But I thought Marine Corps Marathon does not have enough water stops on the course. Obviously, 26.2 miles, there's only 8 water stops. Now, this race hasn't happened in a couple of years now because of COVID. It didn't happen in 2020 and it didn't happen in 2021. So these might change for future editions. But the amount of water stops on Marine Corps Marathon, I just didn't think it was just barely enough. 8 water stops in a full marathon is just not enough. When I ran it, which was in 2017, they actually ran out of water on the course at mile 17. They didn't have any more water. So, which it's just no bueno. I also do think, again, this is not gonna be, you guys, don't lynch me, okay? This is just, again, what I think based on my experience running it. I think there's a huge difference in between having volunteers, people who have run a marathon or have run that specific marathon, want to volunteer and cheer on other runners running the same marathon. I think there's something to be said for that. The Marines were great. I'm not complaining about the Marines, but I don't know that they are truly runners. I do think there's a difference between having people volunteer who are runners already or having people do it because, you know, that's kind of what they have to do the day off. Again, I know this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Way to kick off this video, but those are my thoughts. Any of the other 3 marathons actually here, Disney Marathon, New York City Marathon, and Philadelphia Marathon, they have plenty of water stops. Disney Marathon has a water stop every 1.5 miles. That's really, really good, and they're on both sides. They have sponges, they had ice the year that I ran it, which was very recently, just a month ago. Not even a month ago, actually, 3 weeks ago. Seems crazy. New York City Marathon as well, they have a lot of water stops, again, on both sides of the course. I don't exactly know how many, but I never wanted water and not had it. They have plenty of water, Gatorade in all the stations. Now, Philadelphia is kind of middle there because some of the water stops only had water and they only had Gatorade after a certain amount of water stops. So it was not every water stop, if that makes sense. Now, in terms of medical tents, the one that wins overall is this one right here. Disney has a medical tent. I think I saw 5. I would have to pull up the map to really give you the exact number, but again, they are very often, and they do something that I've never seen in another race, which is they have a table in front of the medical tent with sunblock, because obviously you run in Florida, so it could be really hot and sunny. So they have sunblock, they had hand sanitizer, they had rolls to roll your legs in every single medical tent. So kudos to Disney, because I thought that was phenomenal. Next item that's important for you guys is, and again, remember we're starting at the bottom of the list, is loose cutoff time. Now, a lot of people run Disney races because of, you know, how friendly it is for new runners who might not be extremely fast. However, the cutoff time in the Disney races is 16-minute miles. So they have the blue ladies at the end, they will pull you out of the race if they pass you. So you have to be aware of that. The only one of these races that does not have a cutoff time is actually New York City Marathon. And I think this is something that's phenomenal about New York City. It's extremely inclusive for all kinds of runners. You could walk the whole thing. You could arrive at 2 a.m. at night, the day of the marathon, and they will still have finish line there for you. They would still have a DJ. They would still have water. They would still have people cheering you on. So kudos to New York City Marathon. Phenomenal, phenomenal for rookie runners. That's my take for loose cutoff time. Now we're gonna go right into the difficulty of the course. Now, from all these four, the one that I consider, not me, if you look at the incline and the elevation, the accumulated elevation of the course, New York City is just awful. I ran it in November. They multiply, you know, when you think you're done with the hills, there's another one that comes. And then there's another one after that one. And then there's another one after that one. Also with New York City, what happens is that the first part of the course, your first 13 miles, are easier than the second part of the course, precisely when you're tired. So there's a lot more elevation in the second portion of the course, especially towards the end. So yes, it's a difficult course. I would not, if you're looking for something flat, New York City is not the one to do. Philadelphia is not extremely hilly. There's a couple of hills. There's a couple of downhills that are really steep, and those could be problematic for some runners, especially if you're not good at going downhill, but you could walk them. It's kind of, again, not extremely flat, but it is a doable course. I don't think there's a lot of difficulty in Philadelphia Marathon. Marine Corps Marathon is not a difficult course in terms of elevation at all. However, and again, this could change because it hasn't happened the last 2 years, so they could change the course. What happens with Marine Corps Marathon is that there are a lot of turns. There's turns left, turns right. I mean, if you're not paying attention to what's ahead of you on the course, you could be adding a lot of miles just because you're doing the tangent. So yes, Marine Corps Marathon, not a difficult marathon in terms of elevation, but there's a ton of turns. And when you're going like around mile, I want to say it's mile 13, 14. After that, there's so many turns. You're like going around downtown Washington, D.C., by the Potomac, and then turn and then go up. And then there's a lot of like sharp turns. Those are really hard on your hips and your adductors. So for what it's worth. And then the easiest course by far is Disney Marathon. I ran this one recently. There's people who were talking about hill in one specific place. I didn't even see the hill, to be honest with you. I don't live in a hilly place. To me, Disney World is almost flat. And I know that if you look at the course, there's a little bit of elevation. It's the easiest course of all these four. So if you're looking for an easy course, that's the one to do. And now we're going to talk about logistics. Which of these four is easier to get to? Which one is harder to get to? So if you're local, okay, I'm not talking about getting on a plane and hopping. I don't know where you guys live. For those of you obviously watching the video. So if you're local, the easiest one to get to by far is Philadelphia Marathon. It starts right next to the Museum of Art and it ends right next to the Museum of Art. You can park your car super close. You can take public transportation as well. It's just phenomenal course in terms of logistics and how to get there. Super easy. If you park your car, it's gonna be waiting for you, and there's parking always nearby. I mean, you have to plan that in advance, but it's not super hard to park for Philadelphia Marathon. So the winner in this category would be Philadelphia Marathon. Now, the hardest one to get to is New York City Marathon. It's a point-to-point course and it's New York City. New York City is very complicated in terms of logistics. My recommendation, and I can do a different video about this, but my recommendation is for you to get to the Staten Island Ferry the morning off and then hop on the Staten Island Ferry and they bus you to the start. Other combinations are a lot more complicated and just not as fun. The Staten Island Ferry is great because you have views of Manhattan, views of Staten Island, views of, you know, the ocean, the Statue of Liberty. It's just the Hudson River. It's just great. So I would highly recommend for those of you who are thinking about doing New York City Marathon to hop on the Staten Island Ferry. That would be my option, preferred option, get yourselves there. But it's not an easy course because then on the way back, you arrive to Central Park and then you have to get yourself somewhere else where you have your car or, you know, your hotel, wherever you're staying. So it's not an easy race to get to and from. Disney Marathon starts and ends in Epcot. You have to be there super early because the start time is 5 a.m. So it's really early. That adds complexity, but again, to get there and to, you know, you get there. If you drive, you can park in Epcot. It's free to day off the marathon, and then you can leave with your car from there. Or if you Uber or you hop on a bus from your hotel, it's really easy. So yeah, Disney, thumbs up. And then Marine Corps Marathon starts and ends in different places, but they're close together enough that you could find a spot to park or a hotel that would actually be kind of in between. So yes, the start and the finish line are in different places, but they're close enough in the city that you can find a hotel someplace in between and just walk a little bit to the start and walk a little bit from the finish to the end. When I did it, we parked all the way at the end of the finish, and I think I walked after the finish line, I think I walked 300 yards, if that. It was right there. There's a big parking garage right there. And we picked our car out of there. There were plenty of spaces left. So I don't think they were full the day off. I don't know if maybe people are not aware of this option, but there's a parking garage right there that it's huge, massive, and it has a lot of spaces. So now, iconic sites on the course. This is kind of a toughy one because I think all four of these have enough in them. That's why obviously so many people run these races. It's just, there's a lot to go off. However, I do think Philadelphia Marathon is the one with the least impactful things, and people from Philadelphia might kill me when they hear this. You go through Independence Hall, the Constitution Center, you go down Chestnut Street, so there's a lot to see, and obviously it's unbeatable that you can actually finish your marathon and go up the stairs at the Museum of Art and do the Rocky thing, take a picture with the Rocky statue, you can do all that. So yes, however, the other three have so much stuff, I don't know if Philadelphia's a contender. I'm sorry, Philadelphia. So the other three, I would say they are a tie for me in my heart of hearts. New York City Marathon, obviously the starting point, you go over the Verrazano Bridge, you see all of Manhattan to your left, to your right you see the Statue of Liberty. It's just amazing. I mean, it just gives me the chills just to think about it. And then you go through Brooklyn, you finish in Central Park. It's just great. A lot of stuff. It's just, there's so many movies that have been made in New York City. Everybody's kind of familiar with the city. So it's just nice to go through the same streets that you've seen on the movies. If you don't live around here, I think that's kind of the main draw. It's just, New York City is just the largest marathon in the world. So yes, there's a lot to be said about that. Marine Corps Marathon, to me, was the one that impacted me the most. It was my first marathon as well, but in terms of iconic things, you go by the Capitol, you cross the bridge that it's again in all the movies, you pass by the Lincoln Memorial, you pass by the obelisk. It's just, there's so much history and like government. It has so much importance that it's just great. And then when you finish, you can take a picture with the Iwo Jima monument, which a lot of people do. They meet there and they take pictures. So it's just a great marathon, very, very, very iconic. So, and of course, there's so much patriotism. Just the Blue Mile, which is when you go through the pictures of the fallen, which is right next to the Potomac. That part, people cry. I cried. It's just so emotional. So iconic sites. There's a ton at Marine Corps Marathon. So, and then Disney. What am I gonna say about Disney? Disney Marathon goes through all 4 parts. So you go under the Cinderella's Castle in Magic Kingdom, you go by the Tower of Terror in Hollywood Studios, you go by the tree in Animal Kingdom. It starts and ends in Epcot. So you do Epcot at the beginning and then Epcot at the end in a different, like they route you a different way. But so yeah, you go through very, very iconic sites. So again, I think of these 4, it just depends on what you want. They're all very iconic. Certainly Philadelphia on a second, and then all these 3, I would tie them. I would just give them first place tied. So yeah, sorry I can't give any more help. And then I just thought of another category. Again, I could only put 5 options on the poll, but after the fact, I thought about a 6th category, and that is entertainment while on the course. So all of these 4 marathons have great, great entertainment. However, I'm sorry, I have to give it to Disney. Because yes, all of them have bands playing music on the course. They're loud. The spectators, no 4 are just crazy. It's just like there's so much ambiance and they're loud and there's music. And so yes to all of that. However, entertainment on the course with Disney Marathon, I mean, it's unbeatable that you can actually stop and take pictures with characters. Let's be honest. That's, in and of itself, is like a whole other level of entertainment. So what do you think, guys? Have you run any of these 4 marathons? And if so, do you agree with me? Do you not agree with me? Comment below. Let us know what you think. And if you have any other suggestions for marathons that I should run so I can review them, leave a comment below as well. Please give this video a huge thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos like this one. And as always, run fearless, you guys.